If you've been doing any kind of marketing online this year, you've probably heard of a very common funnel called the webinar funnel. The problem is that 90% of people miss out on the opportunities to maximize their webinar funnel because they aren't doing this one thing. Let's think about a typical webinar scenario. You put all your time and energy into creating the slides. You invite people, maybe you run ads, you're posting and promoting, you're writing emails, and you're getting signups. But then only about 20% of people actually show up live, and an even smaller percentage are going to actually watch the replay. So, how do you actually maximize all of the effort that you've put in to promoting your webinar and getting registrations if people aren't going to be watching it? Well, I have a solution for you. 90% of coaches, consultants, service providers, and just online marketers who use webinars as a part of their sales funnel do not do this one thing. And it is using their registration to provide a survey. And I know you're probably like, what are you talking about? Once you have somebody sign up to your webinar, having a survey be served up to them directly after registration with just a short couple of questions allows you to learn more about the people that you're attracting. And on the back end, once you have converted those people, it will allow you to learn what the demographics and some of the trends are of the people who actually ended up buying. By adding on this survey to the back of your webinar registration process, regardless of how many people show up or don't, you're able to gather information on what makes someone a lead, on what makes somebody convert, and what are the key trends and characteristics of the people who show up live and buy from you so that you can then tweak your marketing messaging, tweak your funnels, tweak your emails to attract more of those people. Another way that you're going to use it is to inform what you say in the webinar. So, by capturing data before you actually teach your webinar live, you can manipulate your material, you can update the things that you will be talking about inside of the webinar to make sure that it resonates with those who are going to show up. It's going to sound like you are exactly in their head, like you clearly understand their pain points because you ask the questions to do so. You don't miss out on not only the amount of people who have registered, but you also get insight into what exactly they're thinking, what they're wondering, and what their top questions are that you can answer within the webinar. And it allows you to not only cut the conversion time because you're able to speak directly to their objections and speak directly to the things that they want to know, but also you're able to collect data to use in the future for other pieces of marketing content like advertisements, emails, and social media posts. Now, before you get all stressed out about the tech, it's going to be very, very simple.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
This video was sponsored by Copy Hero. They are a sales funnel copywriting service that allows you to get your sales page and your emails written for your webinar in just 7 business days. Unlike other copywriting services who charge thousands of dollars and take weeks to produce, in just 7 business days, you can get your sales page to sell your offer and the follow-up emails for your webinar for one flat fee. And by using the code CMO, you're able to save $300 on your first order when you visit copyhero.agency. Now let's get back to it. In whatever webinar software you have, you're going to send out a confirmation email. Within that confirmation email, you're going to ask people to complete their registration. And by completing their registration, all they're going to do is complete a short 3 to 5 question survey that you are going to add into the email. You can use Typeform, you can use Google Form, you can use some things that are built natively into the software. Like, for example, if you have Webinar Jam, or if you're using Kartra or Kajabi, whatever software tool that you're using, you can always embed some sort of survey or quiz or assessment into it to ask the questions that you need to get answers to beforehand. Another way to promote it is to make sure that you include this same link in all of your reminder emails and allow people to ask you questions ahead of time. And if you want to get really fancy, you can embed it inside of your confirmation page, which is a page that most people who register for your webinar will land on and will see. So make sure that you're not only taking advantage of the promotion aspect of your webinar, but you're also taking advantage of the follow-up and reminder process to get folks on your webinar. Again, even if folks don't actually show up live because things change in their life, they get busy, they forgot, you're still able to understand what they were thinking, what made them sign up by having this survey directly following the registration. And if you're wondering what are some questions that you can ask, here are a few to think about. The first question you want to ask is going to be a qualifying question. Think about the top qualities of your leads. When you think about your clients and your customers, what are the main things that they're struggling and that they need to be experiencing in order to make them a good fit for your offer? So if you have a webinar for real estate, for example, and you know that your top prospects or your top leads usually have about $10,000 to $50,000 to invest, the first question that you're going to ask is, how much money do you have to invest in real estate? This will allow you to quickly be able to gauge what types of people you are getting on the webinar and if you are speaking to the right folks in your ads, in your emails, and in your promotion, so that you're getting the people who are actually going to buy onto the call and the presentation. The next question that you must include is understanding what their main roadblock is. What has kept them from solving their problem previously? What is the main thing that's holding them back from accomplishing the results that they want? So, if we're using the real estate example again, we might be asking, what has been your biggest obstacle to investing in real estate previously? Is it lack of knowledge? Is it lack of capital? Is it your credit score? Is not knowing how much to have for a down payment, right? So, based upon your already existing interactions with your customers, you should have a list of about 5 or 6 things that are keeping them from reaching their milestone or reaching their goals. So you want to have that question so that you can understand who you're attracting to the webinar and what are the main things that you should be highlighting for the people that convert. After you have completed sales, you can look back at the questionnaire and see what were the main roadblocks that the people who ended up investing in were struggling with. Were they mostly concerned about their credit score? Were they mostly concerned about a lack of capital? Were they concerned about not being able to do it in their city? Right. And this will allow you to be able to, again, tweak your content to speak directly to those people so that you attract the people who are struggling with that specific objection or that specific roadblock onto your webinar. Another really good question to ask is, what have they already used to try to solve their problem? What have they been searching? What have they been trying to do? If they are Googling, what are they Googling? Have they tried other programs? Have they gone through other avenues to try to solve their problem? It's important to understand what alternatives your leads are considering in order for you to be able to quickly and easily differentiate your offer from the things that they are already trying. And last, as I mentioned, it's always important to leave an open ended question just to understand what they're most excited to learn, what they're most excited to be receiving from the webinar, and what value that they're looking for so that you can ensure that you're delivering that in your presentation and making the most out of your time together. By adding this really simple strategy into your webinar funnel, you're really able to maximize the leads that you are probably paying for through social media advertising. You're able to understand your leads and your prospects in a totally different way. And you're able to use all of the data points that you're gathering to constantly inform your marketing each and every week, month, and quarter as you update your funnels and as you update the content that you are using to promote and to market your business or your brand. If you like this video, make sure that you give us a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Let me know if this is a tactic that you've heard of or that you've used before. And also let me know if you're planning on implementing it in your own webinar funnel. A lot of my clients that I've implemented this for have seen amazing results and have really been able to maximize their webinar efforts, not only by increasing the show up rate for their webinar, but also being able to take advantage of all of the people who didn't show up by collecting information and data on their ideal customers. In my opinion, it's really one of the most underrated marketing tactics that you can use to inform your customer journey and one of the best ways to improve the messaging that you're including across your marketing. Best of luck, happy funneling, and I'll see you on the next one.